How's it going, my lovely death disciples? I am the Shattered Reaper, and happy Easter for all of you people. I am a little bit, I have had a couple of drinks, I will admit. But today we are going to be watching a replay of League of Legends, where in this game, hold on a second. I have not selected my character. In this particular situation, I've actually, as you can tell, I have just left the base, and I am playing as Morgana this time. I felt like I was in a bit of a Morgana mood for a while, so I decided, hey, why not play some Morgana? And I decided to play Morgana for the entirety of Easter Day, or as much as I possibly could, because I felt like Morgana and I have a sort of spiritual connection, in a sense, where we both had this moment where we were part of divinity, or at least we're dedicated to divinity, but then we decided, fuck you, Yahweh, or whatever divine god there is in Runeterra, and just decided to fuck off, and also tell that god to fuck off. In this case, Morgana is the relative of said divinity, but here we all decided to go ahead and invade the enemy's blue camp, and honestly, for the life of me, I cannot explain as to why we decided to do that. We didn't really even accomplish much except for getting the blue creep, but other than that, yeah, there isn't really a whole lot we were able to do, and as you will probably be able to see, it doesn't really benefit me or Draven a whole lot, and I'm gonna be honest with you, just right here and foremost, I was a bit tilted. I was pretty tilted, and I did not feel pretty good about that, but I did get a nice little bit of a beatdown for Tristana, launching my Q right at her face, and then also getting a couple of basic attacks just to show I mean business, girl. Here I am, I'm here, and I'm ready to fuck shit up. And here we see Hecarim, and we cut him off a little bit. I decided to get out of range a little bit, and I'm taking a lot of damage from him. But Draven does get the first blood on Hecarim, and now I'm also getting a lot of damage from Sona, and I am not pleased at this moment because I feel I have been taking a lot of damage, and I'm not a tank, I'm a support. And I'm not the tanky kind of support, I'm just a support. I'm the bursting damage support, I'm not the tank support. So I'm just the one that throws out the Qs and the Ws, where I launch the traps that deal a bunch of damage, and then I also launch the Ws just to make things a little bit more difficult and painful. Me and Draven, however, took a lot of damage, and we realized we both kind of need to get out, but unfortunately I'm close to the tower, and I end up in the worst position where Ezreal and Sona basically can kind of have me from both sides, and I feel like I should have gone after Sova a little bit earlier there, but unfortunately I was cornered by the both of them and I wasn't thinking that well, so it did not work out well for me. But if I did Q Sona, the turret would have killed her and it would have counted for my own kill, and that would have made my stats a little bit better. But unfortunately that was not the case, and I was a little bit pissed at that. But that will not be the first time I am pissed in this match. Anyway, so I am now continuing back into bottom where Draven is holding off the enemy, and I am simply just moseying my way, just getting ready in my fashionable, stylish sense, so that I can fuck some shit up. However, Ezreal is over there, and we kinda need to play a little bit carefully since I'm still level 1, and Draven has just gotten on to level 2, and I'm just so pissed that I decide to forget that. I just decide to say, screw it, I don't care if I'm support, I want to get the farm. But that was a little bit unfair to Draven because he does kinda need that, and he did also admit that the invade didn't really benefit us all that much, and it kind of screwed him over. But at this point I was kind of tilted, so I just kind of farmed a little bit anyways, tried not to farm too much, but I did farm more than I should have, I admit. However, we do have the chance to be able to go ahead and push forward the advance. I missed my Q over there, but it did at least drive her away a little bit, I would probably say, but other than that, yeah. Not a whole lot was accomplished there. But yeah, basically at this point, I'm simply just getting ready to see if there's anybody I can Q, trap, and then W, so that I could have my combo, and just completely screw people over. I put my shield over Draven because he seemed a bit low on health, but that was not necessarily the proper time to use it because he wasn't being attacked, and there were no spells to necessarily break, so the shield was kind of pointless, other than as a gesture. Persona got some damage off of him, and now I'm taking the damage, but now it goes back to Draven because Ezreal sees him being low health, and Draven goes down. Count, and that leaves just me, and I'm pretty sure this is not going to go well for me because of Ignite, and Sona gets the kill off of me, and yeah, you could see why I'm a little bit pissed at this point. This is not a fun game for me, it's not a fun game for Draven, it definitely was not a fun game for Akali, it was not a fun game for anybody. But we will see why it is that I am actually showing the video. So, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that we've got. So far, we do not have a whole lot. We have one minion kill, so far. We have died twice. Draven has killed one person, but has died once. I assisted for that kill, by the way, in case you're wondering what this assisted for. But here, I have my starter item, the Spell Thief's Edge. Gives me 8 ability power, 10 health, 50% base mana regen, and 2 gold per 10 seconds. So, it gives me the tribute while nearby an allied champion, damaging abilities, and attacks against champions and villains grant 20, extra gold, so it does help me economically. However, as I was coming to the bottom, actually I should probably pause for these moments when I am explaining the item, so why don't I do that first? So, I get an extra 20 gold whenever I hit an enemy champion with my ability. Quests earn 500 gold from the item to transform it into Frostbang, gaining active warding, so it'll just give me a bunch of extra wards that I can put down. I also have the Sapphire Crystal, which gives me 250 extra mana, and I also have Amplifying Tone, Tomb, which gives me 20 ability power, so now I also have 2 minion kills, not that it's all that much, but we get the idea. Anyway, so now I'm simply just trying to hold off the bottom, while everybody else has just sort of been, have sort of just back to the base, although Udyr is in jungle trying to farm there. But yeah, it's still just me. Just all alone, dealing with this invasion, to which I am most certainly not prepared in handling, but I do get Sona this time, deal the QW combo on her, and yeah, I felt pretty satisfied in dealing some sort of damage to that. However, the enemy did get the Drake, unfortunately, because Hecarim is definitely just on it, and yeah, there's not much more to that, really. And Hecarim has killed Udyr. Hecarim and Sona are behind us, but we do have Ezreal over there, and I'm simply just facing off against him. He's so close to dying, however, he did kill me just barely as I was about to kill him with my W. I wasn't able to get my Q off because some of the enemy minions would have gotten in the way, so it would not have really done anything, so it wouldn't have really mattered whether I shot my Q off or not. It would not have killed him, and I would have still died. But at this point, I'm definitely not happy. I'm not happy this entire time because things have just been working against me, and I really felt tempted to be toxic to my teammates, but I just simply was silently just shouting in my mind because I just can't be frustrated with people because it's impossible for me to do. But I was screaming on the inside, and I hated it. I really did. So I took out all of my frustration on my enemies, as you will see eventually. Eventually, it will take time, but you will see the reason why I made this into a video, because I made this into a video for a reason, and you will all see it. I sent off my Q. It does miss, unfortunately, but here I am. I'm simply just trying to get the minions as much as I can, even though there's not much I can do about it, but I'm trying to farm, so that I can at least gain something out of this mess. I use my D to sort of get out of Ezreal's abilities way. I miss my Q though, however, so not necessarily the best still, but I'm staying back a little bit, just trying to be cautious so that I don't get myself killed, and so that I don't give them the pure satisfaction. I missed my Q again. Yeah, the beginning is not necessarily the most pleasant. I was trying to go after Ezreal for some reason. I don't know why I was doing that, but I'm staying back, trying to be cautious after that moment of danger. I have been missing my Q quite a lot, actually. I get my W off, and this is another moment where I'm going to die. Yeah, as I've said, it's not pleasant for me at the beginning. It is really not pleasant for anybody at the beginning, and yeah, it really just isn't pleasant. I don't know why Akali decided to go back in that moment, when she barely had any health at all whatsoever. Oh well. But Hecarim does die to Udyr, and now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a look at what we have so far. We now only have just boots. We have boots, and we have a couple of health potions, but that's basically all we have, in addition to what we had with our previous items, so not a whole lot much changed. However, Ezreal and Sona were able to get rid of our turret, unfortunately. However, Ezreal is playing a little bit dangerous, and Sona is now caught between both me and Draven. And now I just have, Draven does die, but I use my Q and I use my W to try and kill her. I use my E to shield myself, but it does not work out again. Okay, yeah, I'm just kind of realizing just how long this beginning where things don't really go well is lasting. Yeah, 5 deaths and 0 kills. Yeah, that really lasted a long time, where I was not necessarily not having a whole lot of good luck. However, I have upgraded my Amplifying Tome into a Fiendish Codex, which gives me 35 ability power and 10 ability haste. So now we are still trying to support in the bottom lane, and Tristana was spotted in the bottom jungle. But it does not, she does kind of get away, so there's no point in staying there. But right now, I'm just kind of trying to get the farming as much as I possibly can. Draven takes the farming as he should. And, yeah, other than that, that's just kind of what's happening right now. I'm gonna see if we can try and speed past this. As much as we can, and then we'll slow down once we get to a more... Oh wait, I think we're getting to a point where there will be confrontation. So Hecarim is going into the bottom jungle, and we decide to help out with that. Udyr is trying... Well, actually, we don't know about Hecarim, but I did see Udyr was trying to get the blue buff, so I helped him out with it. But then there's Hecarim, and then there's also Sona, and then there's also Ezreal. I put my shield around Draven, but it doesn't shield him for much against Ezreal. We all get hit by Ezreal's ult, which is annoying. And Draven dies, but Udyr is still alive. And now we're just trying to stop. I use my Q to hit Ezreal, I put down my W, and that's when I get the first to fall of my many of my angry, bloodthirsty rages. Ezreal is shut down by my Morgana, and it is just... Oh, it's absolutely satisfying. And even though I'm pretty sure this is a match we are not going to win, at the very least, I want to make the best out of it. So, you know, Easter is all about having new beginnings, even if it means having to take down a few people that you despise at the moment. Don't take this advice to heart in reality, please. This is just a game. Do not actually follow this advice. Anyway, so as of right now, we are just kind of farming. Both me and Draven are competing for the farm because I am... Oh, wait! Okay, actually, we kind of need to jump back just a tiny little bit because I accidentally fast-forwarded over a very important part. So here, let me find myself again. So as we are competing for farming, we then go down to bottom, and then we head right over to the bottom jungle where we see a team fight. I send out my Q and I deal death onto an enemy and follow up with a W, killing Hecarim and Sona, but Ezreal does kill me and finishes me off to finish off my ult. But at the same time, it was very satisfying because I did get 2 more kills out of that. So now I have a 1-2 kill-death ratio with 3 kills, 6 deaths, and 1 assist, and I was able to finish off my starter legendary item, or no, not legendary item, mythical item with Leandri's Anguish. 80 ability power, 600 mana, 20 ability haste, Agony, deal up to 12% bonus magic damage to champions based on the target's bonus health, max to 1250 bonus health. Torment, dealing damage with abilities causes enemies to burn for 17 plus 1% max health magic damage per second for 4 seconds. Then we also have a mythic passive, grants all other legendary items 5 ability haste. And I tried to use my Q on Ezreal, but unfortunately all it did was just help finish off the mage minions. I, however, do use my QW combo and tried to ult off of him, but he kills me before it could actually come to fruition. But, you know, tilted. It's a mix between whether it actually helps or not. Akali is dealing with more pain against Tristana, because mid Tristana is apparently extremely powerful, or just very powerful. Cho'Gath not having fun in the top, and yeah, there goes our last turret on the bottom lane. So far things are not necessarily going well. I did buy a control ward, but unfortunately I never actually get the opportunity to use it. And I do have Frostfang, which upgrades from 8 ability power to 15 ability power. It now has 70 health, 75% base mana regen, and 3 gold per 10 seconds. Everything is still the same, but it does give me the ability to put down wards as well, with a maximum of 3 extra wards that I can place down. And me and Draven are still trying to hold off in the on the bottom tower just for the final turret. But as for right now, because we have a bunch of minions, I decided to sort of farm off of them a little bit because the enemy is too far down, and because of that, there isn't really much we can do. So we just kind of fall back a little bit. I try to use my Q to scare somebody off, but I accidentally also hit Ezreal, and that kind of works out with the W to combo for it. However, it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage to him, so there's not much it really did to him. But as you can see, I was very focused on getting that Ezreal for a moment, and Ezreal is definitely the one I want to go after the most. However, here comes Hecarim, trying to go after more than it seems like he can handle. I set down my ult, my Q, and my W, but the turret is the one that finishes him off, which gives me the shutdown. And thus I get the credit for killing him. However, Sona's also doing pretty damn well in her particular case, but she does die, and because I was the last one to damage her, her death also counts as my kill. So, nice try, Sona, for trying to just get yourself executed so it doesn't count for an enemy champion killing you, but it still counted as my kill, bitch, so get dunked on. Anyway, so that does put me at 5 kills, 8 deaths, and 1 assist. And I also have Sorcerer's Shoes, which gives me 18 magic penetration and 45 movement speed. I also now have the Blasting Blood, which gives me 40 ability power. And now we're simply just continuing on as we go. So the enemy is trying to push the bottom lane. I'm just trying to farm as much as I can. I do hit somebody with my Q and then set down a W just to make sure they get some extra hurt put on them. But I am a bit damaged, so I decide to head back to base and just, you know, regenerate the lost health that I had and then get back into the fray. Now then, so, Tristana kills Akali again, to which Akali is very pissed at mid-Tristana. She really didn't like Tristana. She made it very clear throughout the entire match. But now we are only dealing with the Sona. So how this will go, who knows? She is a level higher than me, but we will have to see how this goes. But I try to be cautious. I try not to give her any satisfaction, especially since she has the minion advantage and I don't. I do get the melee minion that was trapped in my Q. But yeah, other than that, didn't really secure a whole lot of other damage. And I decided to steal the mech minion for myself because, guess what, I'm that tilted, and if I'm gonna be carrying, then I'm going to be taking as many of these minions down as much as I can. I do not care what anybody else is saying. I'm gonna take the minions because I am the one making the carry. So if anybody got a problem with that, guess what? You're gonna have to look at the stats to see who's the one carrying. And that would be me, and yes, this is me being extremely tilted. I get Ezreal just to fuck with him, and just make him know that I mean business. And of course with my Q, I finish him off. I try to defend Udyr, but it doesn't really work. I try to get out of the situation, and I succeed by using all of my summoner spells, which is not necessarily the best thing to do, but sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures, and if you're desperate enough where you're probably going to die, you might just need to use both summoner spells. And this is exactly what I did. Which puts me now at 6 kills, 8 deaths, and 1 assist. And, not a whole lot different with what I have, except, oh wait, I just got the, I got the Oblivion Orb, and then I also got the Morellonomicon, which gives me 80 ability power and 250 health, and Affliction. Dealing magic damage applies 40% Grievous Wounds to enemy champions for 3 seconds. If the target is below 50% health, this effect is increased to 60% Grievous Wounds, thus making it harder for them to actually heal. So yeah, if I'm gonna be bringing the hurt, I'm gonna make it hurt. And I'm gonna make sure they don't recover from it. However, this is an item that is more for like tanky heroes, but you know, since there are tanky people on the enemy team, it works. Because, you know, I like Hecarim, he is in fact a tank, so, you know, that would be an item that would most certainly work for him. But we are going after him, or maybe it would also work for a healer kind of hero, like Sona. So, like, whatever healing she could get from her abilities, or from her health regen, that would also be a thing that Grievous Wounds would affect. So, the Morellonomicon would be very helpful against heroes that are either healers or tanks. Just a little bit of a tip. However, here I am just taking a little bit of farming from the top because, you know, again, I'm gonna be carrying, I may as well get the feed from it. I am really just an absolute bitch in this situation. However, Tristana is coming here trying to coming for the punishing. I put my E up, and I'm trying to get the fuck out of there. I use my ult, get Tyrandamere trapped. Tristana does launch me off a little bit, and I use my Q to... hold on a second. Let's actually go back and just view it from... hold on. Let's pause for a moment. View it from Tristana's perspective and see just how things went for, her, shall we? Just to see the full view of it. So, she uses the blast off effect on me, I use my Q to hit her, and Udyr is the one that finishes her off. So you know what? Pretty fine assist from me if I do say so myself, and I get to get away with it, like the boss that I am. Like, you know, the badass villain. That's just like, yes, finish him off. I don't need to be here for this. I have better things to do with my time. But in this case, the villain actually does get away with it. And the hero dies. You know, sometimes I actually do kind of, I can understand what you know, it's funny how I understand why villains do things the way they do. It's not necessarily just because, hey, it gives the opportunity for the hero to get away. It's also because, like, hey, it's kind of sad, it's kind of like setting off an explosion and not looking back at it. It's just that satisfaction, in a sense. Tyrandamere is attacking the top, and I decide to go ahead and send him a little surprise cue to go after him, and me and Cho'Gath kind of bully him a little bit. Unfortunately, he does escape, but you know, it was a fun little bit of bullying we were able to do. And after dealing with that, I just kind of decide to farm once again, because what else am I going to do with my life as a carrying support except just farm already, even if my attack damage isn't necessarily the best. However, at this point, I also decide that I'm going to do a little bit of my supporting role and just go ahead and set down some wards. I noticed this ward there, so I decide to say fuck you and kill it. And then I also just continue to farm. Because I've already explained it enough, you don't need to hear me say it again. However, I notice there are a lot of things going on all around the map, but I decided to go to top because that seems like the safer bet. you know? And Tyrandamir is most certainly trying to cause some trouble. I set down my W to go ahead and get some of the minions and see if I can get him a little bit. I use my E to get spell immune from Tristana's ability. However, Tristana does get her revenge on me as she blows me the fuck up, and there was absolutely nothing I can do on it. Ezreal kills Akali. Tryndamere kills the inhibitor. It's funny how long I have been mistaking Tryndamere's name for Tyrandamere, like, you know, Tyrande from Warcraft. But then I actually look at the spelling of the name and it's like, oh, no, wait, it's Tryndamere. That has been so confusing for so long, honestly. Udyr is just, I don't know what he was doing there, honestly, getting into the middle of everything. But I'm honestly gonna say it was not the smartest thing to do, but Draven is almost done. And I am definitely trying to get my revenge on Tristana, because fuck you, Tristana, for trying to get revenge on me after I rightfully killed you. And I killed her, as well as Sona, getting a full-ass bit of revenge on a bunch of people from my tilted ass, and then I also killed Tryndamere with my W after everybody's been dealing a bunch of damage. So yeah, extremely tilted Morgana to the fucking max in the best of ways, in my opinion. Which puts me at 9 kills, 9 deaths, and 2 assists. Now, yes, I am tied for the most deaths, but at the same time, I am carrying for the most kills, and you know what, as a support, that's pretty damn good for me. That's pretty damn good, and I do not regret it. Even if it did cost me all of my league points, but you know, there weren't that many. Yeah. You could definitely say I was very satisfied with what I was able to gain from this. However, after a while, we're basically just kind of fending off we're making our last stand here, and we're simply just trying to make do with the situation we have, and just trying to get some farming. I accidentally used my Q on a melee minion that was nearly already dead when I could have just basic attacked that one. But I used my Q to get down a mech, but I wasn't able to get the last mech, unfortunately. So I was only able to get as much as I could. Hecarim is most certainly going in for the kill, but, yeah, it doesn't really go well for him. Tilted Morgana still wants more blood. And it continues as we get more mechs killed, because there needs more, I need more destruction, and I want to get as much of it as I can, even though I know we're going to lose. And I mean, we did vote, and I did say yes to the last vote, but, yeah, we ended up not surrendering, really, and that was kind of disappointing. I tried to go after this low-health Ezreal, but he takes advantage of the fact that I used up all of my spells, and I was the last kill for that match, and then we lose. But, you know, even though I missed out on that last kill, it still was a pretty satisfying match in a sense, because, hey, I was tilted, we were losing, the team was not doing well, but I carried. And as a support, what more can you ask for? When your team fails you, you kind of want to be the one that's just like, just the Ash voice line of like, do I have to do everything myself? Pretty sure that's not exactly how she says it, but you know what? I definitely feel those words. I definitely felt it. This entire damn match. And I know that's kind of mean of me to say, and I try not to have that mindset, but in this particular situation, this is kind of excluding Akali, because, like, Akali did pretty decently if we could go back to her stats. She did have 7 kills, 10 deaths, and 7 assists, so she did pretty decently. And Draven, I can't necessarily blame too much, because we were called to invade in a move that didn't necessarily benefit me or Draven, and in fact ended up hurting us more than it benefited us. And Udyr, he most certainly did not benefit all that much, especially considering his stats, so... and how he wasn't able to get more minion kills than the enemy Hecarim. Who would be right there, yeah. The CS that, Udyr has is way lower than the CS that Hecarim has. Like, Hecarim has way more than double the CS that Udyr had. And that just really makes me wonder, why the fuck did we invade if it did not do anything for us? Especially on the other side of the map. It really did not do anything for us, and I just could not help but be extremely frustrated about the whole thing. And as you could see, it definitely showed throughout the entirety of this match that I was just so pissed. I was out for blood. I was out for blood, and I wanted to just absolutely drench the world in blood and cloak it in darkness. And that is exactly one of the reasons why I definitely feel Morgana. It's just like the world pisses me off so much that I just feel like it would have been better off if it was cloaked in darkness and it just ended itself already. But then again, who knows? I just don't really know. Happy Easter, though, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video with that depressing ending that I decided to put out. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give that like button a stab if you did. Subscribe if you want more death in your life. Be sure the bell is tolling for thee. And until next time, rest in peace. Bye! Enjoyed today's video? Well, there's plenty more for you to enjoy here. And if you also want to support this small channel, then there is also my Ko-fi, which is available, as well as a Twitter thread that gives you my commissioning info. And if you'd like some traditional art or literature, feel free to DM me on Twitter. Thank you for enjoying the video and for your viewership.